Tesla's in a big spot, guys. We have seen stock price fill that gap as we expected in the last video. Now we're very close, nearing a breakout level, guys, to these upper price action levels being 333, 362, or ultimately that $400 psychological level, guys. That being said, my name is Dylan from Dylan Straits. Let's get straight into this technical analysis breakdown. First, stepping over on the weekly analysis. On the weekly analysis, guys, we do see stock price breaking into a massive pennant structure. This has been forming all the way back from September of 2021, where stock price forms lower highs, pushing into these higher lows. We continue this trend, guys, until getting to the end within the structure, where something has to happen. Not quite, actually. We're about, 80, 83% within the structure. Not quite at the apex, but we get very deep into the structure, guys, where stock price is a massive sprint out of here, pushing 260 to 488. Then we reject that. We reject back down, guys. Classic break and retest. This is where smart money can really get in, as you get to get that phase two like momentum. And it's a very heavily defended area. So when you get that double chance opportunity with bullish presence that we did see over here, this is a very nice setup, guys. And we did see not only stock price push back into this pennant-like structure over here, hence these trend lines, right? We've seen stock price actually come back down to this major swing low where we did base out at previously. So very bullish setup on the weekly analysis. We did get the press out of this weekly range. Hence the structure over here, right? We're in a horizontal trading structure, trading from the highs to the lows, gambling between, forking the nice bullish engulfing, pressing up. We mentioned on the channel here, we looked really, really bullish when this happened. Two nice consolidation candles and then breakout. Notice how this is very textbook, guys. We also seen these exact same consolidation structures lead within the past to these upside, downside. Now we're looking at an upside. So from the grand scheme of things, we're definitely working in the right direction, guys. Take off every single trend line, right? We're forming this higher low, trying to push up, continue this trend within this break and retest, right? Within this range breakout. We had a very similar range over here, and this did push to 488. So definitely got a level we're at as far as a macro perspective. With that being said, we're seeing these very obvious these lows being defended as we anticipated within the last video, right? We mentioned these lows are a very pivotal spot. We do expect stock price to build up from this level and push into 314.50, which we're currently $1 away from, guys. It's always nice to see a nice big wide bar explode into this descending trend line, this major breakout level, just being that you're seeing max strength pushing into the breakout level, right? It's as simple as that in nature, guys. So we're seeing a lot of momentum, right? These major lows being defended, and it does seem to be on the Tesla weekly analysis chart that this is the area we can press up out of this, right? This floor that's been defended just so well, guys, in this rough region. I mean, the buyers have just done an incredible job, right? We pulled back from these highs to this range high over here using it as support. And it does feel with these nice touch points, guys, that we do have more upside to occur. And this perhaps is the last stop to this very important support level. And now we might see some upside. So we still have to see the break over this resistance level, being that we have this 314.50 level and this descending trend line, both stepping in at once, called a double pattern resistance, right? So it's not no easy task, guys, but the bulls approaching this, getting that bounce once again, they definitely should be able to get this down, guys. I would rate this on the weekly analysis about a 72% probability. We do break to the upside. So keep an eye on that major level, guys. 314.50, that 315 range, that rough area. Especially in the daily analysis within last video, guys. Remember, stock price gets below this bottom Bollinger Band, being this yellow one, guys, it's always very overextended to the downside, and Tesla's incredibly corresponsive to these upward moving trajectory, guys. And being that we have seen just over the last few weeks this very focal point support level being defended, hence this blue box over here, guys, seeing this overextension to the downside, which we called out over here for the bounce, we got the bounce, right? We came right back here not too long ago, we called the bounce. Now we came right back down here, guys. We're not going to shift the trend. We should be able to get the bounce from this level. We have seen that. So with that being said, it always is nice, once again, centering back to the weekly, to see these big body bars pressing out of this gap down low, pushing to the high, trying to fill this gap. Well, it already has been filled. Technically, that gap would be right here, guys, so we already filled that. But, yeah, first and foremost, we're seeing max strength push up from this level, right? We had a little bit of hesitation at the bottom. Buyers weren't quite sure if they wanted to defend this low again, and then we had a very clear answer, guys, with this candle here. Now pushing with another one. A lot of beginner traders undermine how valuable these key strong movements are, guys. But one entire bar can shift the trend, guys. And we have seen the sellers, right, be dominant in some areas, hence over here. But, more or less, they've just been kind of choppy, right? Pretty choppy. They get a news drop. They kind of step in here. They kind of step in here. So to see a nice strong crescendo within the buyers, guys, it is these micro signs that does lead us to believe that we will see the stock price continue to rise, breaking out from this level, pushing this next resistance zone at that very important 333, where stock price previously consolidated on this major phase, right? And then use it as resistance for the same flag, right? Two flags, guys. So it's looking quite nice on the daily, guys. With that being said, once again, keep an eye on 314.50, very critical level. As of now, it does appear we'll get there, right? But if stock price reverses at this level, right, we should be coming a little bit lower. We should be coming down around this 50% from this gap to the high, probably pushing around this, that rough 305 zone, attempting to form a higher low to push up higher. But we're getting everything we need to see out of the daily, guys. Let's go flip over to the hourly. A lot of the time, these sort of setups within this pennant-like formation where we momentarily did have a false break, guys, a lot of these do have a lot of massive upside. We did call out this exact setup on Tesla back around the top of this range, right? We're basing between the floor, right? The floor to the high. To the floor, we're going almost to the high. We come down to the floor, then the high. We're getting really bullish, holding a tight channel at the top of this range, building that bullish influence. Notice how over here, guys, we have this flag-like formation, stock price knifing down, forming lower lows. Momentarily false break over, but the trend is still good, guys. It's still perfect. We're pushing within. We're getting really tight. And then we see the breakup. This breakup pushed us from 280 to 367 in, I believe it was 4 or 5 days, guys. So you see, this is a great example. Not too long ago, we were covering Tesla, guys, where we called this out. And then we've seen a series of, right, micro bull flag breakout, micro bull flag breakout, another bull flag, and then we got the breakout. So, Tesla has been very dominant, and that is very clear. When we've seen these big, massive dips, these scary moments, the buyers immediately flip it bullish, right? Once again, we get this hard flip in price action, dip. We immediately defend it. Now we're just showing a lot of impossible, quote unquote, strength where, no matter what the buyers are hit at with a bat, with, Mike Tyson's freaking left hook, everything, they're coming back, guys. And we're seeing them defend the number one low, getting closer and closer to this breakout level. So you gotta love what you see on the hourly, man. And seeing this unorthodox, once again, centering back to this previous breakout right over here, right? This unorthodox descending trend line where we previously did get this false break. I actually like these setups more sometimes than the, perfect, pretty setups like this where we have no constraints, we have no false breaks. It is honestly hard to distinguish why, guys, but there's just a lot more liquidity behind these movements. Hence, over here, literally just 2 weeks ago. So, with that being said, it does appear we will get the breakout. I can't preface how big this 314.50 level is, guys. We've been keeping an eye on this for quite some time. This was the base for this flag over here, right? And we did mention trending into this level. If we break this, guys, should be pushing the next zone. We push down, we gap down, we push right to the zone until we halt, gap down. So now we're pushing right into it again. So if we could blow over this, we should be pushing 333 pretty effortlessly. With that being said, guys, that is the video. A little bit of a complex image as we have, a false break within this pennant structure. But from a very simple essence, we do have a cup and handle structure-esque on the daily, this big cup forming into this pennant structure. Getting quite tight here, guys. It does look like a nice opportunity for the buyers, but they do have to step up and break through these massive descending trend line in play, hence this red trend line, and this big 314.50 level, which we will highlight darker. With that being said, guys, Tesla looks good for the long term. Let's keep an eye on this, right? We could see some short-term price action. Shiftings within the short-term aspect. Perhaps we do come down for another test within this zone, getting tighter than this descending triangle before ultimately making a movement. If you guys found any value, consider subscribing for these price action updates live. We continue to cover Tesla about 1 to 2 times per week. So with that being said, guys, have a good day. Take your trade smart and peace.